Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with my next round, or my next battle from phase 1 of the Smogon Snake Draft. So the way it works, or I think it works, is there's 2 phases. Phase 1 has 2 battles, I think phase 2 also has 2 battles, and then you compete to get out of it. And there's like 3 teams, like, man, so I'll just link the thread. Like, I'm not 100% sure how it works. All I know is I show up for a battle, and I play, and I talk with my team. That's it, that's all I know. Anyway, I didn't live record this one either. So for those of you that can't handle me skipping turns, pausing, explaining my thought process and whatnot, skip this video. Skip it completely. It's not the video for you. That's it. You leaving a comment that says, I'm not a big fan of the pausing, doesn't do anything, because if I don't record it live, I'm going to do it this way. That's it. And I sometimes don't just feel like recording live, depending on how early it is that I play, or even if I really want to concentrate on something, and things like that. Another thing that I want to say, I'll leave the replay down below though, so if you do want to watch the battle, it doesn't matter that I paused through it, so you can watch that. One thing I do want to say is that, what do you think about this way of the screen versus the whole screen, like I've been doing? I actually used to do my replays just like this, but then one time I did it the other way by accident, and nobody seemed to care, so I kind of just continued that. Do you prefer this? Do you prefer the other way? Just let me know. I'll do it this way. I could go the other way too for the next one, or I could do it this way again. I could continue this way. I just thought that maybe this would give more stuff. And last time I showed the chat because it was fun as I was interacting with this dude, but I didn't really talk too much to Kick. Anyway, so like I said, at team preview, I kind of laughed because he brought the exact same team that I brought last time I played. He just has Bulu over Hydreigon, so I thought that was pretty funny. My team is a CTC team. I have some text on it. I actually changed a few things. I'm Subcom, Mine, Suicune, Taunt, Earth Power, Tran, Spikes, Feral Thorn, Scarflando, Mega Zam, and then Z move Lele. I changed it. It used to be Shattered Psyche. I have a different Z move, but looking at his team, I really like Suicune in this. Yes, he does have Mawile, Rotom, and Bulu, but Suicune has potential to stall them all out because of pressure and sub protect. Zam is also really nasty, especially under terrain, as Psychic 2 KOs pretty much everything on his team under terrain, especially with Spike support. As far as defoggers go, Rotom is a great defogger versus me. So is the Lando. The Rotom, if it's anything like my last team, it's Thunder Wave, maybe Pain Split, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, something like that. So on lead preview, the Mons I'm scared most about, I felt, was like Heatran or well, I'll pause it real quick, but it was Heatran or mainly Rotom, I think, because Rotom is just such a huge threat to Pharaoh at a start. Now, or excuse me, to basically my entire team as a start. If I didn't lead Lele, Rotom could essentially just get a KO immediately. My opponent let off a Bulu, very smart on my opponent's part. I lead Pharaoh. Now I'm actually going to hard switch directly out into my Heatran. Obviously, the only thing that he could really do to me was Bandit Superpower that would KO Heatran, but I want to try in here because I didn't have Gyro Ball on Pharaoh, and I didn't want to try and get them up versus Bulu, especially if it's like a setup Bulu, their bulk up or SD, synthesis, all that stuff right now, protect, things like that. So Heatran could just stop that immediately. He actually goes up to his own Heatran, probably scouting for Gyro Ball or something like that. Because I am a bulky Heatran with Earth Power, I know I'll live his Earth Power, even if he's offensive. So I throw off an Earth Power here because if I weaken Heatran, that opens up a door for Lele as he brings out Rotom. And this actually allows me to get up my rocks. Now, he showed some very important information because my Heatran is Spadef, but it is running quite a bit of speed. So his Rotom is faster than my Heatran, which means that his Rotom is probably not running as much bulk as I was running in the last game. Now, he Volt switches out right down to Heatran. I could easily go for the Earth Power here, but I decided to go out to Lando as he doubles back out and Rotom. Very solid play. I guess he went Heatran just in case I wanted to Toxic. Obviously, I went for Stealth Rock, but like, I think the initial thing is you don't want to risk another Earth Power. Why risk it so early? So it goes Rotom. Very solid play there. I get in Lando. I'm able to U-turn. And I'm actually going to go to Pharaoh. Whether he burns me or not, this is fine. As he reveals the Thunder Wave. Ew. So I see no item on Rotom, so I'm thinking it might be Papa Berry, and it could be Defog too. He brings out Mawile, and I go for Leech Seed here. I didn't think he would bring out Bulu immediately, and a Leech Seed on Heatran, a Leech Seed on Mawile, Lando would all be great. I get full Parrot, unfortunately. That may come into play because that means that, like, I know for a fact he's going for knockoff. And because my Heatran's really valuable in this, Taunt Heatran beats Clef. I can potentially beat his own Heatran if he doesn't have Earth Power. I beat Mawile. I beat Bulu. I'm not going to go out to my Heatran on the knockoff. So I go Lando. Unfortunately, again, not landing the Leech Seed is pretty big, as my Lando is forced to take a good chunk here, and Mawa would be at about 70-something%. But bring in Lando. I'm going to pick up a little bit of offensive momentum and just bring out, go for U-turn and bring out my Heatran as he brings out Clef. Now, I could easily taunt him, which is what I'm going to do. This prevents Defog from Rotom if it comes in. This prevents Clef from going for Thunder Wave or Stealth Rock, as Rotom does come out. And again, it's a little bit problematic here, this Rotom, but I actually decided to go Lele. Now, my thought process is, if he goes for Hydro Pump, Lele eats it, and I get off a Psychic. And I don't think he'd go for double pair up because Ferrothorn obviously could come in. So I thought he'd either Volt Switch or Hydro Pump here. So I thought if I get in Lele, Psychic definitely knocks out Rotom. Just based on the U-turn damage, this Rotom is running max HP, but it's not bulky. So it's like, it's not bold. Well, it's not bold max HP. So I'm assuming it's just a really speedy Rotom and just max HP. So I know that a Tapu Lele can knock it out under terrain. He does throw off a Hydro Pump, and this allows me to throw off a Psychic as he brings out Bulu, and I do such a nice chunk, all things considered. Now, the Lele on this team was Shattered Psyche, which would have been really nice here, and I respect his Protect a lot because he definitely scouted for the Shattered Psyche. He fought a team like this on the ladder, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw a replay of it. So I bring out Heatran as it covers pretty much every play, but at the same time, it does give the Bulu double protects, which is a little bit annoying because it's back at 79%. Now, I went for Taunt on the next Protect because I wanted Rotom, if it came out, to not be able to go for the Defog. So I double out to my Lele, expecting him to want to go Rotom here because he could live a Loud Plume and it would actually activate its Eye of Papa Berry, as I can now throw off another Psychic. It's under terrain. Now, unfortunately, I'm not all out pummeling here, so I'm not able to go for it either. I'm going to double right back out into my, or I'm going to go out to my Heatran, excuse me, as he doubles out to Lando. Very solid play. Scouting for Focus Blast or all out pummeling. Really solid play. As much as I wanted to stay in here so badly, I do switch out into my Landorus, especially because my Landorus is not important besides just avoiding Earthquakes. It's really not that important. So I bring out Clef. I think that's a very smart call on my opponent's part too, because what he more likely wants to do is get up his rocks. But I bring out my Pharaoh right now because I can avoid a potential Thunder Wave by not going Heatran. I can go for a Spike here too. This time I actually tried a Spike because I want to make sure that Bulu, if it comes in on Psychic, it's always going down even after Protect. Now, this is where missing out on Leech Seed because I got parried kind of hurt me, because Lando would have been a lot higher and Mawa would have been a little bit weaker too. But I go Land on the knockoff. I go Heatran on the Sucker Punch, which he should be going for. And then I double out into my Lele on what I'm anticipating to be Rotom. This dealt with potentially the Rotom double, which I thought he would go for. He actually goes out into Heatran, which I'm pretty surprised about. I think that covered my taunt play too. Now, I'm going to throw off a Psychic here because what I want to do is I want to weaken him for my Zam, as he does reveal the Magma Storm. Wasn't really anticipating him to go for a fire move there, considering I'd gone Trans so many times, but this gives me Mega Zam. Now, I'm really paranoid about missing Focus Blast, and while I probably should have gone for it, I didn't want to miss, man, and I got nothing out of the turn if I miss. Plus, Psychic hits his team incredibly hard. It's a 2-hit KO on Heatran under electric terrain, so I throw off a Psychic here. I already knew it wouldn't die to Shadow Ball too, just based on the Psychic damage from my Layla, and this actually makes me get poisoned, which is really unfortunate. Obviously, like I said, I would have absolutely loved to click Focus Blast there, but like 70%, I didn't want to miss. It's funny because I used Magma Storm in the last one, so maybe I'll take that into account too, just going forward. Like this is even on the road to top 10. Like this is something, sometimes I just have to go for it. Because had I landed it, I would be at 100% not toxic. So it brings out Lando. Smart. It's already Scarf Landers. He's going to go for U-turn as I throw off my own Landers. I could have went Ferrothorn there, but then he would have just went Mawile, and then I would have to sack Lando anyway, and then get in Heatran. So brings out Bulu, which is okay for me because it means that my Heatran basically gets back up to full because of grassy terrain. But I decided to, again, throw off a taunt because I don't want Rotom to defog. I think these spikes are going to be really important for winning in the late game versus Mawile and whatnot. So I taunt right there, and what I actually decided to do is I believe double out, or double taunt, yes. I double taunt as he goes Lando. Very nice play. Now, I can live in Earthquake under grassy terrain, but it's not worth my Heatran taking like 10 million%. Especially when I go Feral Throne right now, I find out this is like a max attack Landers because he does 20, which is halved, or which is, grassy terrain weakens it. And the only calc that can do that is if it's more than the 64 attack investment on defensive Scarf Lando. So it's actually a max attack Lando. And this is really important because he's at 64% and grassy terrain is up. So if I go over Power Whip right here, Landers goes down. And this is really, really good for my late game in Heatran plus Suicune because them two can just do it. So if I get rid of Lando, I don't have to worry about, none of my mons have to worry because I don't have to worry about his speed control. So I go for the grassy terrain boosted Power Whip and I get paralyzed again as he crits me. And this is so unfortunate because Lando would have been gone right there. As I'm forced to pretty much throw off a Leech Seed since I can't knock him out with the next one. It sucks because like Landers would have been gone, but he's going to go out to Mawile right now. Nice play as I throw off a Power Whip. Again, this also could have been important too because basically he wouldn't have gotten enough damage on my Heatran as you guys will see because I'm staying again. I understand why he's not going for SD because obviously me going Heatran, I live a +2 sucker. I could have Gyro Ball too, which is boosted by the para because I'm super slow. But yeah, so goes for knockoff. I'm gonna go for Leech Seed again. Landing the Leech Seed earlier, he would have been about 30% down and he would have died right here, pretty much. But unfortunately, didn't work out for me. I'm able to get on my Heatran now, though. I'm going to be forced to take a Sucker Punch. I could have went for Taunt and tried to outplay and tried to embed at full HP, but I didn't. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that he didn't go out into Lando right there to click Earthquake, considering I feel like that got a kill. Because had he went Landers, I would have been forced to sack Zam, get the Intimidate, get in my Suicune, and start Calm Minding up. But he goes Rotom, as I'm going to bring out my Zam. My Zam doesn't live the Hydro Pump because of the poison. Oh, I do. Sorry, excuse me. I'm like, forget me. I do. What the hell, I was Zam. And I throw off a Psychic as he does bring out Clef. Now, that is a 2-hit KO. However, Clef is the perfect opportunity for me to set up with Suicune. So I go for Focus Blast, which is like the only attack I felt like would not KO. And I can get in my Suicune right now, and I can start getting going. So I go for Sub first because he could Thunder Wave me potentially as he brings out Rotom. And the cool thing is, I'm pretty sure my Suicune's faster than this Rotom. I mean, he's running a good bit of speed, but I'm pretty sure my Suicune's faster. And the great thing is, after a Calm Mind, Rotom has a very, very, very low chance to break my Sub because I do have some Spadef investment as well. So I go for Calm Mind here as he does Volt Switch. I protect it just to, waste the PP and get a little bit of extra recovery as he's not going to break my Sub. And this is where it gets interesting because Suicune definitely has a chance to do it. Potentially if I get some plays right versus Bulu. So his own grassy terrain also heals me back up to full, which is incredible. I'll throw off a Scald because under this, I felt like if I get a burn initially on Bulu, I could save Suicune's HP, which is important now because unfortunately I have to take an attack from Landers since it wasn't killed by Power Whip from Feral Thorn to the para. And as he brings out his Rotom, go for another Calm Mind. I probably could have protected here, to be honest. And what I think right here, this was actually a misplay on my part. I'm going to call myself out on this. I think what I should have done was actually subbed instead of protected because I obviously had his own grassy terrain helping me. But the goal is to stall out the Horn Leeches. But also, I know that if Bulu has Bulk Up or SD, he will go for it eventually. Because if I do get the burn on him, it'll be worse for me. So what I'm trying to do is, on a turn that I think he'd expect me to go for the protect, I'm going for sub because if he does SD, I can at least burn him. Obviously, though, I'm a lot lower now because I didn't sub on that on the grassy terrain, which I think I should have done. Though he's using 2 Horn Leech PPs per attack. So I go for protect here as he does finally go for SD. And this is pretty bad for my Suicune, obviously. I can still try and stall him out a little bit, but like he barely has any Horn Leeches left. I think he used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Horn Leeches, so that means he used 10, and this is 6, so it means he used 12. But unfortunately, not going to work out for me right there, as I'm going to go out to Heatran and now throw off a Lava Plume. I actually get a burn, but it's neutral superpower because of the burn, and he's going to be able to knock me out. So that was a good game. Now, I feel like if I got rid of Lando, I could have also just saved Alakazam, because Alakazam was really, really important, but because it didn't have another opportunity to come in. I had Recover on Zam, by the way. Because I didn't have another opportunity to come in on him, since Landers would be so important late game, because all I could do was click Earthquake and pretty much sweep my team. It was big. So the 2 times that my Ferrothorn got parried were really big for me, in my opinion. I guess you could argue otherwise, but this is what I'm thinking. He definitely beat me. And like, had I gotten the plays right with Suicune versus Boo, that could have been cool too. Like if I sub protected whenever you Horn Leech and I got a sub when he went for SD, and then I got the Scald Burn. Obviously that would still need a Scald Burn, but Again, I feel like the 2 pairs were really big. Again, getting that leech seed off on Mawa earlier meant that it wouldn't have, it would have been down, which meant that Heron was a higher HP, which also meant that I could bring it in immediately on the unboosted Bulu and go for Lava Plume, doing 60-something%. I would still have to fish for burns, obviously. I'm using 230% still, and Zam would still be in the end game to click Psychic right here. It can Psychic knock out Rotom, and if he goes Clef, I literally sack Zam, go Suicune, sub-combine up, and I feel like I win from there. But Para's a good thing. That's it. They're getting the kick, for sure. Hopefully in the next one, I think I also should have probably pulled the trigger versus Heatran too. I think if I click Focus Blast, so that's something for me to keep in mind as I keep going. Because I think that safely safely Psychic was the play to be a little bit more safe. Because the worst case, he was leftover, so he couldn't Z me. Worst case scenario was Toxic, and Toxic still has a chance to miss. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind, I think. So just pull the trigger a little bit more, at least with the inaccurate moves. But yeah, good game, Kick. And yeah, thank you everybody for watching. So I'm 1-1 in the first phase, and that's pretty much the end of my battles for this, I think. Guys, don't call me on that, I think. Feel free to check out the replay if you didn't watch it, even though, how the hell are you here? You just skipped to 16:05 or 16:10. Actually, there's an intro, so there's a little bit. Okay, I'm done. Goodbye, friends. I'll see you guys with more of the battles, by the way. Sorry, I cut myself off, but goodbye.